What's going on, guys, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jordan. Today we're gonna be talking about a few things. I'm actually driving out to nature right now. I'm gonna be talking about segment intending, and I'm gonna be talking about micro intention within the segment, right? And to be able to express this is to understand a few things, right? To be able to understand this is to be able to realize that you can only do one thing at a time, right? And so what are you actually doing right now? The segment you're in. For example, for me, the micro segment I'm in is I'm driving to nature. The segment itself is I'll be in nature, right? I'll be going for a jog, or I'll be walking, whatever it is. Right? I'm headed to nature right now. That's the segment. Micro segment is, hey, the micro intention is, hey, you know what? I'm gonna arrive safely. I'm gonna arrive safely. Okay, so segment intending is nothing more than having a block of time. You have a block or a scheduled piece of time, a unit of measure, right? A specific set variable, right? Where you're basically gonna be focusing on something for the period of time given, right? You're gonna be focusing on something for the period of time given. For example, you know, if you're in high school, right? If you're in high school, you have a basketball game, you know, your segment of basketball is gonna be from 7 to 8, right? You know that, right? If you have English class at 10 a.m., it's gonna be from 10 to 11, right? So a segment intending is simply focusing on a task until it's complete. The intention part is realizing, hey, you know what? You might have many goals right now. You might have many goals. You might have so many intentions that you want to complete, goals you want to complete, dreams that you have, focuses that you want to, you know, create. And really, at the end of the day, you can only do one thing at a time. You know, you may have all these different things going on in your life, but all you can do is one thing at a time. Segment intending is having a segment, a block, saying, you know what's the most important thing? I'm gonna do just that. I'm not going to get distracted by anything else. I'm only gonna focus on what I need to focus on right now. That's all I'm gonna focus on. You know, the intention is that, you know what, I'm gonna have a goal for this segment. You know, for example, writing. You know, when I love writing books, right? I love writing, and even growing up as a kid, you know, I did creative imagination stories and things like that. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, what I love to do, you know, when I was a kid, right? Even then as a kid, I had a creative mind. I had all these things I would think about. But at the end of the day, if you're writing, you need to focus on that. You know, I would get home and I would play, you know, Call of Duty, right? If I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm not gonna get texted, you know. And the funny thing is, you know, when you have a girlfriend, right? You know, I remember this would happen, right? This is what I would call, you know, getting distracted out of segment. Like when you're really focused, like you gotta lock in and say, look, you know what? Hey, girlfriend, I'm gonna be done at 9 p.m. You know, I'm gonna be done at 10 p.m. I'm gonna be done at 8 p.m. Whatever it is. You can say, look, I'm gonna be done at 9 p.m. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, girl, right? Is, you know, I'm playing video games right now from 8 to 9, and I'll see you at 9 to 10, right? And then if someone's texting you at 8:30, but you're playing video games, segment intending is I'm focused. Okay, I'm focused. I got the gym at 5, right? And this is a lot of times what my schedule will look like. If I got the gym at 5, right? If I have the gym at 5, okay, I'm not checking my phone to book a meeting while I'm at the gym. I'm doing that when I book meetings, right? So it's like you have to have this set structure of your life to decide when you're gonna do what. You know, otherwise you're just gonna get randomly programmed in a segment, and someone wants you to do random things at random times. It just doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't work. You know, if I'm on a Zoom presentation, or if I'm on an event, if I'm actually out there selling an idea to someone, you know, I'm not gonna get distracted and then start walking the dog in the middle of the segment. It just doesn't make sense. And it amazes me how people actually do this. People will literally just get distracted by the most random things, and it just amazes me. So segment intending, guys, check it out. Segment intending is nothing more. Focus on what you have set out to focus on in that moment, and realize that moment, that entire segment is a continuation of moments. The segment itself, you know, has a block. And a lot of the segments I do are 1 hour. Some of them are 2 hours, and sometimes it can be 3 or 4 hours. But most of the time it's like an hour or two, right? And so the point is, you have that set window of time, okay? You have that set window of time. You know, okay, you have an art segment. You know, and a lot of times I'll have an art segment, or I'll have a writing, I'll have a creative one. I won't always do all my creative ones the same day, but if I have a creative segment, I'm only focusing on that, okay? Not thinking about something else. How do you get something done? And I remember, I struggle with perfectionist procrastination, right? Analysis paralysis, and I'm sitting there thinking, you know, I got to come up with the perfect idea to write a book. But what I didn't realize, one of my mentors taught me, was, hey, just start writing and see what comes out. Like, literally, just start writing. Like, just start writing. You know, see, if I give myself a set hour to focus on writing, I may not know what's going to happen. I may not even know what I'm gonna write. You know, I may not even know. And maybe, and this is even another way to do segment intending, is you can give yourself the whole day. You can give yourself a whole 5 hours. If you have something that's a really important task, you can give it a longer segment. All right, so the point is to be able to choose what's the priority without letting something outside of yourself distract you from what it is that you decide is the priority. Okay, and a lot of times people outside of you are gonna FOMO you into doing something that's outside of your own frame. And they'll say, hey, no, come over here and do what I'm doing. Come over here and do this, right? And sometimes you're gonna have that opportunity to make that decision. Now, sometimes you don't know where you're going. Sometimes you're lost, and you're actually, you know, you need someone to guide you. Sometimes you don't even know where you're going, and you need someone to help guide you in the right direction too. So, but anyway, I'm on a tangent here. Back to the point here, segment intending. I'm gonna wrap this up here shortly. Is segment intending is, hey, I'm gonna focus on it. So if I have a segment of playing basketball, and I'm not just gonna go to the gym and start shooting random shots, I'm gonna have an intention for that segment. You know what? Let's play a game of 21. Not only am I gonna play the game of 21, I'm gonna win the game, right? I'm gonna win the game. That's gonna be my segment. Okay, that's gonna be my segment. If I'm writing my books, right? Well, what's gonna happen is my segment is, hey, look, I gotta pick what chapters am I gonna write? What research do I need to do? Right? Okay, how do I get a chapter done today? You know, how can I just write and see what comes out? Like, I got to be thinking about the segment itself. I got to really be focused on what I'm actually creating. I got to really be focused on it, right? And if I'm making sales calls, right, and there's different types of calls. If I'm making a sales call specifically, right, then that's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not just having a random calls. Now, sometimes you're going to have warm-up calls, or sometimes you go to the gym, you're going to have warm-up shots, but when it's comes time to actually score, or comes time to actually, you know, play the game, you got to play the game. Right, so you may actually warm up calls before you do sales calls. You may do warm up shots before you do shots in the gym, right? Whatever it is, and you could do inviting, whatever. There's all kinds of ways to do different things depending upon what your goals are. There's different strategies and plans you can learn, you can plug in, right? But it really just comes down to what is in year 24. You know, what is in year 24? What is in your day? What can you track? What can you measure? What can you focus on, right? And what can you decide? You know, what can you actually decide? And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. You know, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great, right? And sometimes, you know, the most successful people, this is one of the quotes I remember. The most successful people, right? They don't know everything, how it's gonna work. They don't know how the whole plan is. They don't have the whole entire perfect plan, the business plan. You know, they always talk about the business plan is ripped up the second day because you know something day 2 that you didn't know day 1, right? And so it's like you just have to start and know that it'll all work out, okay? In day 2, you're gonna build off what you did day 1. Day 10, you're gonna build off what you did day 9, right? In day 20, you're gonna build up what you did day 19. So you gotta have a little bit of vision, and you gotta have a little bit of patience, and realize that the thing you wanna do, right, it's not gonna be perfect. It's not even gonna be good, right? And one of the mentors I looked up to, what he said was, you know, this guy, you know, he said, it has to be before it's good, right? It has to be before it's good. Right, so you know, if you have a book, okay, good. Write the rough draft. Don't even publish it, right? If you're gonna make videos, right, make videos to yourself. You don't even have to upload. You don't even have to upload it. You don't have to upload it. No one has to see. You don't have to get a light. The point is, you're having vision. If you're making videos, right? If you're making videos, you know, I remember 5 years ago, before I ever made a video, I didn't even know what a video was, and I let alone know that I could make one myself. But the point is, you don't even have to know what you're gonna say. You just gotta open up your mouth. Right? It doesn't have to make sense. Say, look, if I'm gonna do videos, I know I'm gonna do it for at least 90 days straight without stopping, right? If I'm gonna write something, I'm gonna do it 90 days straight. If I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna do it 90 days. You know, decide to do something for 90 days straight. Just do it for 90 days. And you know, Alex Hormozi, someone I looked up to that's made over hundreds of millions of dollars, talks about the longer you can wait to get the result, the longer you can take action on something without actually needing the result, is the more results you're actually gonna get. Right, the more results you actually get, right? And the strangest thing in the world is you get what you think about most of the time. You get what you think about most of the time, right? So what does it actually mean? You get what you think about most of the time. You want to think about your goals, right? A lot of times, guys, we're worrying, we're doubting, we're stressing, you know, we're complaining. Things are going against us, and that's what we're focusing on, and that's what you get. So how do you get rid of all this stuff that you're worried about, the excuses and complaints and the perfectionism? It's just simply decide to focus. Like, simply be quiet, right? Put your head down, put your pen on the paper, and just decide to focus. Like, just decide. I'm not going to talk about problems. I'm not going to talk about things that are going on. I'm going to focus on what I want, and I'm going to create it. I'm going to just do whatever it takes. I'm not going to think about anything other than what I'm doing right now. You know, and that's really what it takes to be present. To be focused is to realize that there is no such thing as a problem or a situation that cannot be changed if you can simply decide to, you know, be on the frequency of your goal and take action. Like, literally just take action in alignment with the frequency. And you just got to realize feeling good, right? You got to show up into the gym. You got to show up into the gym. So that's, guys, that's segment intending. Segment intending is you got to have a focus, a segment, a block, a schedule. And I'm going to say, you know, you got to decide what you're going to do when, right? Segment intending. There's many ways to do it, but ultimately realize it's your choice what you're going to do right now, guys. I know we have popcorn mentality, you know, microwave mindset, you know, here in 2024, the TikTok brain, right? Scrambled egg brain, where, you know, we're scrolling, right? And we can't even, it's like the attention span is 5 seconds for the average person, or 2 seconds. It's like, you got to learn how to focus, you know, and there's ways you can focus, you know, fasting, meditation, journaling, right? Can you think about a thought until it's been created? Like, can you focus on one thought at a time? Like, think about this question. How long can you focus on a thought until it happens? Think about that. How long can you focus on a thought until it happens? Like, can you think about a thought long enough for it to germinate, for it to actually create something in your reality, and realize it's not going to happen in one day? It's not going to happen in 3 days. It's not going to happen in a week. It's going to happen over time, right? And get your subconscious mind involved, right, with what you're actually focusing on. This is absolutely how it works, right? Segment intending. Do one thing at a time. Do one thing at a time and focus on it until it's complete, right? Each segment's going to have a beginning, and each segment's going to have an end. You're going to begin something, you're going to end something. You're going to begin a cycle, and you're going to end a cycle. If you're going to work out, you're not just going to go do 5 push-ups. You're going to have a beginning, and you're going to have an end, right? You're going to begin. You're going to go into the gym, you're going to do warm-up. You're going to do warm-up stretches, right? And then you're going to get your workout in. And then you're going to do cool-down stretches. Guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. You know, we've been programmed by society to just think everything's going to be like that, right? And we think we go into the gym, I don't feel like it, let me just go out. You know, or we make like 2 sales calls, I don't feel like it, I'm just going to stop. Like, no, it's like, if you're going to do it, do it. Like, if you're going to do it, do it, right? You know, and that's what Grant Cardone says. You know, another person that's also made hundreds of millions of dollars, you know, talks about, it's like, if I'm going to make sales calls, I'm going to make enough calls to actually get a result. You know, I'm not just going to make 2 or 3. I'm going to make enough to get a result, right? If you're going to go work out, you're going to go long enough to get a result. You're going to go long enough to get a nice pump in, okay? You're not just going to go and just try, right? And that's one of the quotes, you know, by Yoda that I really love, and I'm going to wrap this up here, but is that Yoda says, like, you know, use the force, right? Do or do not, there is no try. Do or do not, there is no try. There's no try. Your trying is when we try, when we have choices, right? You know, I could go left, it could go right, it could go middle. And so segment intending actually helps us in the situation where we're not sure which decision to make, right? It's because we have different things we want to do, and we have different things to focus on. It's simply decide to do one at a time, right? Pick a priority. You know, one of my mentors who's made millions of dollars, who actually taught me this, was, you know, I had like 3 things I needed to do. And I was like, I had to do all 3 of them, and I was like, for a week, I couldn't get any of them done for some reason. He was like, hey, just pick the number 1 priority, get it done, okay? Then you can do the second thing. And I was like, no, but I have to do this, and I have to do this next, but I have this future goal that I need to get to, and I was like, whoa, he's like, slow down. Do one thing at a time. Complete it. Finish the most important priority, and then when you're done, go ahead and go do the second priority. Go ahead and do the next thing, right? One thing at a time. Segment intending. One thing at a time. Pick the segment. Pick the priority. What is the focus? I'm gonna get this done today. This is gonna be the number 1 thing I do, right? And I'm gonna do it until it's done. Can you stay focused long enough, right? To complete a task and continue focus. Don't let anyone distract you. Don't let anyone stop you. Focus on what you're got to do, right? If you're the football player and you're the running back, right? When you get the ball, you gotta move the ball up the field. You gotta score, right? You can't let someone tackle you. You can't let someone distract you and say you can't do that. Oh, who do you think you are, making a video? Or who do you think you are writing a book? Who do you think you are, going to the gym? Don't you know that you're fat or that you're skinny? Right? Who do you think you are wearing makeup? You think you're a supermodel or something? Like you think you're all this, right? So it's like, that's like a defender. At the end of the day, if you're the running back, that's like someone trying to tackle you. It's like, okay, they're trying to stop you. Okay, let's go ahead and juke them out real quick. Yeah. And because you got to get to the end zone. You got to at least advance the ball. So segment intending is realizing too, sometimes you're not going to score today, okay? But you can advance the ball. And if you advance the ball enough, you're going to get a first down. And if you get enough first downs, you're going to eventually get close to the goal line and eventually score, right? And so that's the quote. One of the famous success quotes that I learned is that, you got to go as far as you can see. And when you get there, then you'll see further, right? Because you may not know the play to score. You may not know the play to finish the book and publish it. That may be too far out there, but what you can do is today, let me write the title. Let me do some art for the cover of the book. Maybe let me just write the first page, right? That's where you can start, but you may not know how to publish it yet. Don't worry about it, right? An elephant, they said you bite an elephant one bite at a time. A large goal is just big goals into smaller goals into tiny steps, right? And so the journey of 10,000 miles begins with a single step, right? And so that's how it works, right? Segment intending, one thing at a time. Finish it, complete it, right? One play. If you're gonna win the Super Bowl, first you got to get to the playoffs. If you're gonna get to the playoffs, first you got to win some regular season games. And if you're gonna win some regular season games, you got to win this game, right? And if you're gonna win this game, you got to win this play. You got to get to the end zone, right? So what play are you running right now, right? And realize it's the Super Bowl is way out there, but what play are you running today, right? What play are you running right now? Okay, realize that. Segment intending also is realizing that you don't have to know. Okay, just know that tomorrow is going to build up today. What you do today is going to help you tomorrow, right? What you do today is going to help you tomorrow. Okay, and what you did yesterday is going to help you today. So think about what can you do right now today to move the ball forward a little bit. And just show up. Most of success is just showing up, day in, day out, whether you feel like it or not, doing the things you don't want to do. Like doing the things you don't want to do just to show up, just to move the ball forward, because eventually you're going to feel like doing it. And sometimes you have to act to trigger the feeling of actually feeling like acting, right? Sometimes you literally just have to act, right? Sometimes you have to act to get the feeling. And you gotta move forward long enough, right? You gotta move forward long enough to actually get the feeling that what you want's actually gonna happen, right? You gotta do that, guys. So that I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. Segment intending. This is the video for today. Segment intending, guys. This is Jordan. Check it out. Drop a comment below if you have questions on this topic, right? Or if you have any specific examples you want me to go over, right? Go ahead and drop a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, like it, subscribe, whatever it is, however that stuff works. But at the end of the day, guys, stay tuned for more. We got more videos like this coming, and we'll see you in the next one. We'll see you in the next one. Segment intending, guys. Check that out. Segment intending. Asking is given. If you want to know more about segment intending, Jerry Nestor Hicks. Asking is given, guys. I'm a teacher because I'm a student. I'm an absolute sponge to information, to people who are successful, to people who are gifted, to people who are healthy, spiritual, whatever it is. I'm a student, right? I am a student. I am a master student. Like, that's all I'm gonna say, guys. Jerry Nestor Hicks of Abraham. The Teachings of Abraham by Jerry Nestor Hicks. The 17-second to 68-second rule. Intention, declutter. Segment intending. This is from Asking Is Given. This is from Asking Is Given. One of my favorite books. I read this book several times, 3, 4, 5 times now. Maybe closer to 10 times if you count the audios. I've read this book so many times, probably 10 times at this point, right? Is that it's gonna teach you the steps. Okay, Asking Is Given. Read that book. Read the same books over and over again. Right? Read the same books over and over again and ingrain it deeper, not only into your mind, but into your body, into your habits, into, how you perceive what you're actually experiencing in your physical reality, guys. So peace out, guys. I'm gonna keep rambling on forever if I don't stop it, but I don't have official ending to this, but let's get it, guys. Peace.